as something that must be turned into lemonade. Well, hello. And I believe that we've got enough light. Let's see here. That's even better. We'll do that. Hello. I am Tigress is a verb. Queen get her done. Tigress McDaniel. And for those of you who know me in the political sector, Tigress Sydney Acute McDaniel is how I always introduce myself. And I am coming to you today in a different way, just a bit. It's still, of course, my authentic, real self. However, instead of a vlog, the way that I've been vlogging for this entire Vlogmas and Vlogzaa thus far, is not enough, quote unquote, for today's Kwanzaa principle, which is Ujima, meaning collective work and responsibility. And it, in its essence, is a commitment, a collective commitment amongst, in this particular case, Black America, the diaspora, to remain informed, sufficiently informed, objectively informed, circumspectively informed, not just merely woke or allowing one's mind to over analyze, and instead to be apt and competent in both cognition and action, and to do that with our collective goal in mind. And as it were, the timing was so perfect in one particular regard. Just got home. We had planned to go to the Harvey B. Gantt Center. We do this every year for their Kwanzaa celebration, and we were excited to attend today. But I had a little bit of a situation, and I'll discuss that another time because I want to focus on the collective work and responsibility. And there have been some pretty epiphany moments throughout this day. And I just feel that my enlightenment is further enlarged, and I am forever grateful. And I'm going to do my best not to get teary-eyed because this is very important to me. You've heard me say before that I cut my teeth on the plan. The plan has always been group economics. The plan has always been empowerment of Black America and the diaspora at large. The plan has always been that, always. And I've not ever deviated from that plan, and I don't intend to do so. And that requires a commitment. Ujima. When we returned home, I decided to take it easy. And I was trying to figure out, how do I honor Ujima today for Vlogzaa? What do I film for Ujima? What do I do? We're not going anywhere, as you saw in the beginning clips. It's raining. And it's not to say we can't go anywhere in the rain, because we can, but it's not necessary. And we're not just gonna go for the sake of putting on a show as to our commitment to Kwanzaa, because we live it every day. It is 365, 24/7 for us. And that's how it should be. Yes, of course, within reason. I'm talking about the commitment not ever wanes. You may have days where you don't have any goals set or any task set that need to be completed toward those goals. But ultimately, the plan not ever changes. And that's how it is for us. So I decided that I would eat lunch. We got pizza. And I ate my lunch, and I said, maybe I'll get inspired if I just, don't think about it for a while. Maybe, just decompress and then come back to it. But my creator had another plan, which is pretty common. And I was going to actually watch one of my favorite YouTubers first, because they have still been posting some Vlogmas content. And then I noticed that Neil deGrasse Tyson and Chuck Nice and their team, I want to say his name is Charles, they had released or uploaded another episode of Star Talk. And I was like, okay. And it said, would you get the chip? And then it had a bubble coming from Charles saying, not from Elon. So I immediately, that grabbed my attention. And I said, okay, I'm going to listen. And again, if you've been here before, then you already know how this goes. Asa is enjoying his holiday break, and I'm not going to stop him, because these videos don't have to be perfect. Focus on the content and not the glitz and the glamour and the aesthetics, because we are always giving quality and content and scope. I begin listening, and Star Talk not ever fails to give what is supposed to be given. And they got to around the 16-minute marker. I'm going to include it right now, and I'm going to let you listen.
We had civilizations, great civilizations, but then we always have war, and that slams us back to a place before we started. So we take one step forward and 3 steps back.
Or does it? Let me read for you.
Oh. Uh-oh, here we go.
He's got his phone out.
Let me read for you
Go ahead.
a passage written by Christian Huygens.
Huygens.
Dutch polymath.
Okay.
Okay. He discovered what Saturn's rings were.
Oh, cool.
But before him, they were just like blobs of light, right?
Yeah.
So this is a ring system, it's rotating. Exactly. He's done a lot of brilliant things. I'll read to you from his book, Cosmotheros.
Cosmotheros.
1898.
Oh.
Okay? The vices of man are no hindrance to their being the glory of the planet they inhabit. And he's deeply religious. All the scientists back then were religious.
Of course,
okay, so it's folded in here, but watch how he says it. Besides, the vices of men themselves are of excellent use. These are the vices that you said regress us.
Okay.
Are they not?
No.
Excellent use, and are not permitted and allowed in the world without wise design. For since it has so pleased God to order the earth and everything in it as we see it is, for it's nonsense to say it happened against his will or knowledge, we must not think that those different opinions and that various multiplicity of minds were placed in different men to no end or purpose, but that this mixture of bad men with good And the consequence of such a mixture as misfortunes, wars, afflictions, poverty, and the like were given to us for this very good end, for exercising our wits and sharpening our inventions by forcing us to provide for our own necessary defense against our enemies.
We're complacent because we have it all. That's basically if it weren't for a-holes,
he said
messing things up.
God put a-holes on earth so everyone else can make life better.
Basically, he's saying God gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Yes, and that's the best invention of God there ever was. Lemonade.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So while
God gave us lemons so we can make lemonade. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. God gave us lemons so that we can make lemonade. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. When we got the results that Trump had been elected and Black America was enraged, specifically the 92%, the Black women, amongst myself, including myself, were enraged that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were not elected. And we were more enraged by the racist taunting, gloating about this win for the evil of us. And it was very disturbing in a lot of ways. And a lot of Black women, because it was the trending thread on all the social media, that Black women were like fed up, like call somebody else. I'm out. I'm on break for the next 4 years. And my response instead was, that's not a healthy response. Even though I understanding someone's response to something doesn't mean that the response itself is a healthy or wise act. And it wasn't. And I still no less love all of the beautiful Black women who voted with our conscience and voted toward the greater good of the world, not just the United States population. And I put out a call to action that we can't just sit idly by and allow whatever happens to happen because we are now disillusioned and fed up. It is what it is. I've said it many times before. Why would you expect the devil to be nice to you just because you're being nice to him? Or maybe you're being neutral and you haven't provoked an attack and the devil comes after you. People really get really upset when they experience hardship and they haven't done anything to provoke it. And that's not a healthy response, because we all have free will, and there are acts that are taking place all over the world that will have a ripple effect and impact us individually and collectively, even if we did not provoke the attack. And so it is irrational, wholly irrational, for one to believe that the devil's going to be nice to you if you're nice to them, or otherwise you just don't provoke them. That's not how it works. Even if you don't believe in Christianity or a similar religion, just the logic behind it just doesn't work, because if we know the characteristics of the devil to come to steal, kill, and destroy, why would anyone even rationally ponder that the devil might step back a little bit and be like, I'll go easy on you this time? No, because they would look at that as an opportunity to really stand 10 toes down on their demise and destruction. because that's who they are. And yes, I'm drawing a comparison to those individuals, the racist individuals who showed their ugly faces after Trump was elected to taunt Black America and gloat about this win and the things that they had intended to bring into fruition to the demise of Black America. And some people were shocked. And I was perplexed, even though I understand the human condition to still question that which we apprehend. We still do that because we are entitled to the idea that everything has to go right if I do things right. It's not fair for someone to do something unfair if I've done things the right way. Expecting an evil person to be fair is not rational. Expecting a bold, blatant racist to be humane is not rational. It's not rational at all. And so we go back to this video, and they're talking about God gave us lemons to make lemonade. And there's so much debate about that because there's the side of Christianity that believes in a holy, and I mean H-O-L-Y and W-H-O-L-L-Y, completely benevolent God. So on one side, you have that school of thought, and then on the other side of Christianity, you have the school of thought that God can bring wrath. He can have anger. He can inflict punishment, and that no less takes away from his benevolence. Well, we won't get into that because we need to stick to the subject matter. Maybe we'll do it another day. If you want me to cover that subject matter, please let me know down in the comments. But as it relates to Ujima specifically, collective work and responsibility, and then applying this school of thought that God gave us lemons, and with the intent that he wanted us to make lemonade, that we were given bad, evil exists, the devil exists, naysayers exist, bad guys exist, tyrants like Putin and Trump exist, so that we collectively and individually can respond with enlightenment and growth and become our fullest potential toward the greater good and the glory of God. If that's the case, I urge you to think of this. Everything that the naysayers and the racists, those who voted Trump into office, are doing, and there are some Republicans and there's some Democrats, and I've been honest with you about this, and you need to understand this. There's some independents, there's some in the We the People Party, there's some in the Libertarian Party that voted for Trump. This is factual, okay? If we do not take action with these lemons, and we do not transmute their bad energy, transform their ill will toward our greater good, defend against inhumanity, defend against crimes against our liberties and democracy. If we don't, they are not going to just go away. Much like what I just said, they're going to stand 10 toes down, and they're going to terrorize us. So we can't afford to just sit by idly and just see what happens. We can't afford to be filled with fear and frozen with apprehension of harm, imminent harm. We must stand up. We must take action. We must transform, transmute. We must make lemonade out of lemons. And to me, as a scientist, it's pretty cool. You give me lemons, I see all the benefits of lemons. We know the benefits of lemons. We know the benefits of being able to have the gift that keeps on giving. We have the seed. We can make more lemons. We can sustain ourselves in some ways with the lemons. We can use the lemons for medicinal purposes. Like when I see the lemon, I don't see anything negative at all. The irony of that in changing your perspective, if you have sufficient information. If you don't know that the lemon has all those benefits, if you have failed to commit yourself to understanding the benefits, the wide range benefits of a lemon, when someone gives you a lemon, you cannot see past that which you don't know. So you see it from the lens or through the lens of it not having any major benefits or any benefits at all to you. You see it as something that must be turned into lemonade. And that's not accurate. The lemon itself is the gift. The lemon itself is full of benefits for you. And this analogy, I think, is so spot on. And I hope that you all receive this well, because a lot of you would favor the lemonade even over the lemon. And we understand the analogous lesson in this colloquialism. But scientifically, I encourage you to remember that generally the lemonades that are on our retail shelves, they are full of sugars and full of additives that we don't need. And at the end of the day, you need the lemon. You can't build muscle without exercise and commitment to that exercise. You can't elevate your mind and become cognitively apt and competent without exercising your mind, practicing, learning, engaging academia, engaging research, hands-on skills. The lemon has its relevance. In fact, the lemon itself is inseparably relevant. And so that's what I want you to take away from today, from this upload. I don't think that God gives us lemons to make lemonade. I think God gave us lemons for us to use the lemons and understand the benefit of the lemons in their raw state the benefit of love in its raw state, the benefit of exercise and holistic and interconnections and humane living in its essence. What do they say? You can't see the forest beyond the trees. I think that's a great analogy here as well. You're looking past the very thing that is in front of you. It's right in front of you. The most beneficial thing that we have for us is when someone tells us no and they have ill will. It is an age-old story. If someone tells you yes all your life, you very seldom will elevate from your plateaued understanding of life because you don't have any reason to. Nothing has challenged you to grow. Nothing has provoked you to grow. So you become complacent. You rest on your laurels. You've plateaued. You are really no more good. So whereas again, I do not believe that God has given us lemons to make lemonade, I do believe that God gave us lemons. I do believe that God gave us love, gave us free will so that we would choose greater good, gave us brilliantly designed bodies so that we would honor our temple, honor the creation that we've been allowed to embody and live our fullest potential and overcome all things bad. And that is Ujima, collective work and responsibility. It is our responsibility to defend our civil rights. It is our responsibility to stand and hold the line offensively. It is our absolute right and our responsibility to assert ourselves and to show the devil, and in this case, its counterparts, the racists and the divisive that have voted Trump into office, and show them that we will not go in fear. We will stand our ground. And that does not mean violently so. We will assert ourselves. We will not go back. We will fight. But we will not stoop to your level. We will use the gifts that have been bestowed upon us for benevolence, and we will use that toward our greater good, because the benefits are in the lemon, not the lemonade. Y'all have a good one.